you guys believe that we're in a sassy man apocalypse? Oh God, I'm not gonna hold you. Like a lot of men are feminine and they don't actually have.
Yeah, I agree. I would agree with you on that. Who asked that question?
Me.
So
You?
yeah. Wait,
Yeah, I would agree with
do
you.
you see them at work, like people like
Yes.
that are,
All the time.
Yeah.
I swear. I'm like, okay. I already know what you are.
and then you know why they're in the club right now.
Yup.
There you go.
Yup.
I was actually I made a tweet about this. Drake went viral for having that picture of himself with the big tails. Can we pull that up real quick?
Yup.
And I actually wrote a whole thing on this. I genuinely believe that, like, the explosion of Drake in popularity from like 2009, like, was the beginning of like the end of like traditional masculinity in general.
Yeah.
Because he basically made it cool to be super in touch with your emotions, cry over girls, show like, be outward with your the way you feel towards women and stuff like that. And I've always said, like, that's not a good move. If anything, you need to be stoic. You need to be a stone cold killer, right, with girls. Well, at least a woman that you're dating and seeing, right? She needs to see you as the emotional rock. But yeah, I do blame Drake Drake as one of the main catalysts for this whole wave of men that are like kind of emasculated.
Listen, man.
He made it cool to be a bitch.
Listen, man. I like Drake. I think he's a master marketer. I think he did it on purpose. I don't think that niggas really like that, because if he was, he'd be roasted 24/7 by his niggas. So
I mean, he is a little sus, bro. I know you like his music and shit, but he's sus, bro.
I don't know, man. He be doing shit on purpose for a lot of reasons. Did I answer your question?
Actually, I just have a theory on the sassy man apocalypse.
Sure.
Is that, have you heard where they said like hard times make hard men and easy times make easy men? Something like that. I think it's because our grandparents, they, had wars. They had to like toughen
It's hard
up.
times create strong men. Strong men create good times. Good times create weak men.
Yeah.
Basically.
So I feel like it's just the time right now. And I feel like it's just a cycle.
Yes. And may I add something? I
don't think it's just because of Drake.
Yeah, it's not just
He's
because
a
of Drake.
that's why I said he's a component. But you got to remember that he he is. If you look at like the top rappers in the world, right?
That is crazy.
He's number one. He's number one, and like that is like that. His influence is like it's unmistakable in the past 15 plus years, right? So you're trying to say something? Someone's trying to say something.
Yeah.
Okay.
I also, let me add, I feel like women have also contributed to the sassy man apocalypse too, because by giving too much puts us in our masculine energy.
We fought for our rights so hard,
and then men wanting to be, why do I have to take her out on a date? Why do I have to do this? Why do I have to and it's just like, so you want the roles to be reversed, basically. That's what you're saying. You want me to give to you while you sit back and I do all the work. No.
Well, you're the one saying that you're strong and independent. You're the one saying that.
Huh?
Men don't say I'm strong and independent. You guys say, I'm a queen, I'm a boss, I'm independent, I'm strong. So you get what you're honest for.
That's not all women's thoughts.
A majority though. Of the new modern culture.
Well, you know what? Just not arguing with that.
Question for you: is that like something that you've kind of noticed, like in your personal life, like a lot of guys like don't want to step up and?
Yes.
Yeah. Do you think that your profession has anything to do with it?
Absolutely not.
You don't think so?
No.
I'm going to be very blunt here.
Okay.
Women that are involved in sex work, whether it's OnlyFans, corn, dancing, etc., they typically do pretty well financially. They do pretty well, right? 6-figure earners, etc. And what ends up happening, I've noticed this with a lot of women that do this, because we've had thousands of girls on the show and a bunch of girls that come from that world, whether it's dancing or OF or corn or whatever. They make great lives for themselves. But kind of the negative that comes with that is like men that are traditionally masculine tend to be, would you agree that men that understand gender roles tend to be more conservative?
Yes.
So the problem is that the men that are conservative and have these like traditional masculine traits about like I'll court a woman, I'll pay the bill, all this other stuff, they're typically not going to date women that are involved in sex work seriously.
That's true.
So like, and I think, and I've noticed this kind of phenomenon with women that do this type of work is that like they attract a lot of men that tend to be very feminine and want the woman to be the provider because they're aware of how much money you guys earn. But the other thing too that women kind of need to know, and I kind of call this like the sex worker tax, is like guys look at it like, well, I'm dating you, and you have unattractive profession, so you basically need to pay me for even being with you.
Yeah.
And I've seen a lot of girls kind of, you know, we've had some really big OnlyFans girls on here. I don't want to give names and embarrass them, but they've had to keep their boyfriend around. They have to buy him extravagant gifts, take him on trips, etc. They have to treat him like a woman almost. Because the guy looks at it like, well, I'm dating you. You're on the internet doing sex work. Makes me look really bad, and this is embarrassing. So here's the hoe tax on you for me being seen around with you.
But then why is he dating her?
Yeah.
For the benefits we just went over.
Yeah, so basically.
And they typically have a side chick that's not involved in sex work most of the time that I've seen it. So like, I think this is something that's like really important that never gets talked about, is that like, if women decide to go into like that industry, you'll do well financially, but you could probably kiss your chances of finding a conservative traditional man goodbye.
Yeah, that's true.
We wish you the best on that.